Hello everyone, welcome to the course on hydrocarbons. In previous lecture, we have studied one of the important rule in chemistry, that is Markovnikov rule, that is used to explain the addition of hydrogen bromide or hydrogen halide to an unsymmetrical alkene. Now, what happens to the addition of hydrogen bromide to the unsymmetrical alkene when there is a presence of peroxide? In such cases, we will use anti-Markovnikov addition or peroxide effect or Garage effect. So what happens in this effect? So in presence of peroxide, addition of hydrogen bromide to unsymmetrical alkenes like propene takes place contrary to the Markovnikov rule, and this happens only with HBr but not with HCl and HI. So here, when there is a presence of peroxide, the addition of HBr to unsymmetrical alkenes, it takes place contrary to the Markovnikov rule. Means whatever happens in the Markovnikov rule, exactly opposite to that, the reaction is observed in this case. So in Markovnikov rule, what happens? The negative part is added to the carbon containing lesser number of hydrogen atoms, and the positive part will get added to the carbon atom having more number of hydrogen atoms. Now in this case, what happens? Let's see an example of propene. So when we consider the propene, that is CS3, CH double bond CH2, it is an unsymmetrical alkene. If we add HBr to this alkene in presence of peroxide, then the major product that will be formed is CH3, CH2, CH2Br, that is 1-bromopropane. That is the major product. But in case of Markovnikov rule, major product obtained will be 2-bromopropane. But here we obtain 1-bromopropane. Why it is so? So let us understand that by mechanism. The peroxide effect proceeds via free radical chain mechanism. That means here the formation of free radicals will take place. So what happens here? See here, first step, as you already know, they are in free radical mechanism, initiation, propagation, termination. 3 steps will be present. So first, what happens is, let us consider one peroxide. Let's say benzoyl peroxide. Its formula is C6H5, C double bond O, 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 C double bond O, C6H5. This is said to be benzoyl peroxide. Okay. So now it will undergo homolysis. So homolysis means the cleavage of bond takes place, and the shared pair electrons, they will move to the respective atoms. Now here the cleavage will take place between 2 oxygen atoms, and the electrons which are shared, what happens to them? One electron will goes to this oxygen, another electron will go to this oxygen. So thus here the oxygen consists of an unpaired electron or odd electron, and thus it will form a free radical, and that is given as 2C6H5 C double bond O, O. And as you know, it consists of one odd electron. And now here I have written 2 because 2 moles will be formed. C6H5 COO, this is one product, and this is one product, that is free radical. 2 moles of this radical will be formed. And again, what happens is, here COO, that is CO2, it will get terminated, and thus again we will get 2 moles of C6H5 free radical along with liberation of 2 moles of carbon dioxide. So now this is our free radical. Now what happens? After the formation of free radical, that free radical, that is C6H5, it will reacted with HBr. Now this HBr, on H delta plus will be there and Br delta minus will be there because Br is more electronegative. Then this C6H5, it will attack the H plus, or H plus will attack to this C6H5 because it is an electrophile. It requires an electron and that is given by this benzyl radical. So thus what it will form? C6H6. Okay, and now there will be formation of Br dot, that is a free radical. Now after the formation of this, what happens? Let's see. Now that Br will attach to the propane. Let's consider the propane first. CH3, CH2, CH double bond CH2. This is the propane. Now we have Br radical. Now there will be formation of 2 kinds of free radicals. One is primary and another one is secondary free radical. So this Br, it may take the electron from here, okay, or it may take the electron from here. That means we will get 2 free radicals. One is CH3 CH CH2 dot Br. This is the one free radical. Another one is CH3 CH dot CH2 Br. And this is another product. Now this is a primary free radical because the radical is formed on the primary carbon atom. This carbon is attached to only one other carbon and hence it is primary carbon, and the radical formed is said to be primary free radical. And here the carbon is bonded with 2 other carbon atoms, thus it is said to be secondary free radical. Among these two, which one is more stable? The secondary free radical is more stable than primary. So therefore, since the secondary is more stable, it will undergo reaction immediately and thus it will give the product. So what would be the product that is obtained? See here, CH3 CH dot CH2 Br, that is the secondary free radical. Now it will attach to the HBr. Again, what happens? This H will go to this free radical. Therefore, it will form CH3 CH2 CH2 Br. That is already attached here. And again forming an Br dot because H plus will goes here and thus Br will remain as it is in form of free radical. So thus which product is obtained here? 1-bromopropane. So therefore the major product formed will be 1-bromopropane. It is because of formation of more stable secondary free radical. Due to that, the major product will be 1-bromopropane. And in the case of Markovnikov rule, what happens there? That is, in absence of peroxide, the secondary carbocation is more stable and thus there the Br will attack to the secondary carbon atom and thus it will form 2-bromopropane as more stable compound and thus the more product will be obtained. But in this case, secondary free radical is more stable and thus we will obtain 1-bromopropane as major product. So this is how the reaction will takes place. Okay. So remember this reaction. And another thing, I have told you that it is applicable to HBr, not HCl or HI, because in between HCl, the bond formed is strong and that cannot be broken by using UV rays or sunlight. So therefore, since bond is strong, the reaction will not take place. That means free radical formation will not take place. And in case of HI, the bond is weak. Due to the weak bond, the I will immediately form another iodine molecule by reacting with another iodine atom. So thus, it will not undergo free radical mechanism. So one is strong bond, therefore it will not undergo cleavage to form free radical. Another one is very weak, so that if the bond is broken, immediately I atoms will react each other to form iodine molecules. So in this type, here you can observe Br dot is formed. That kind of Br dot is not obtained in case of HCl or HI. Therefore, this peroxide effect or Kharasch effect, it is applicable only for addition of HBr to unsymmetrical alkenes in presence of peroxide. So remember, whenever they have given peroxide, then the major product is exactly opposite to the major product formed using Markovnikov rule. Okay, so remember this thing, very important for all reactions. Now next chemical property of alkenes, addition of sulfuric acid. So here when alkene is added to the sulfuric acid, it will undergoes the electrophilic addition reaction and forms propyl hydrogen sulfate. So simply first it will attack to the symmetrical alkene, that is alkene and ethene. So when it will attach to the ethene, then it will form ethyl hydrogen sulfate, and thus again it will rearrange to form propyl hydrogen sulfate. So simply remember these chemical reactions of alkenes, addition of sulfuric acid, what it will give. Then another one is addition of water. In presence of few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid, alkenes react with water to form alcohols. So when alkenes, it is usually said to be hydration. Okay, so hydration of alkenes will result into the formation of alcohol. Then another one is oxidation. Alkenes on reaction with cold dilute aqueous solution of potassium permanganate, that is Bayer's reagent. Remember this, reaction with cold dilute aqueous solution of potassium permanganate is said to be Bayer's reagent. And when alkenes on reaction with Bayer's reagent, they will produce vicinal glycols. And decolorization of KMnO4 solution is used as a test for unsaturation. If KMnO4 gets decolorized, that is usually it is having purple, violet purple color, and if it get decolorized, means it color disappears, then we say the compound is unsaturated. And here when the water is added to the alkenes in presence of Bayer's reagent, it will form glycols, vicinal glycols, means here the alcohol group is attached to the adjacent carbon atoms. Then we call them as vicinal glycols. And here it is formed compound will be ethane 1,2-diol, that is said to be glycol. Remember this. Next one, ozonolysis. The ozonolysis of alkenes involves the addition of ozone molecule to alkene to form ozonide, and then cleavage of ozonide by ZnH2O to smaller molecules. So ozonolysis, here what happens, if we add ozone molecule to alkene, it will form ozonide. So here propene we have taken, we have added O3. So that O3 will attach to this pi electron, that is double bond, to form OOO, that is propene ozonide. Now it will cleaved. Okay, so here cleavage will takes place. This one will get cleaved, and what will remain? HCHO. Okay, that is present. CH3CHO. One product will be obtained and another product will be CH2O. So HCHO will be formed. So methanol and ethanol will be obtained. And another one is methyl propene. When it reacts with O3, again it will form in a double bond. Wherever the double bond is there, we will represent the ozonoid in this manner. So ozonoid will be formed, and again the cleavage will take place, and thus what it will form? Again it will form HCHO and CH3 C double bond O CH3, that is propane 2-one will be formed along with methanol. So in this manner the ozonolysis will take place in case of alkenes. Next one is polymerization. So alkenes, polymerization means what? Here smaller units or smaller molecules are joined to form a linear long chain having high molecular weight, and that process is said to be polymerization, and the product formed will be known as polymers. So suppose in case of ethene, so if we take one ethene, that is one unit, if we take one molecule of ethene or 1 mole of ethene, that is said to be monomer. Okay. Now when large number of ethene molecules are joined with each other to form a long linear chain, that is n number of, it may be many CH2 molecules. If we take single molecule, it is said to be monomer. If we join the large number of units, then it is said to be polymer. So here, if we join ethene molecules to form a heavy molecular weight long chain compound, then it is said to be polyethene, because number of, poly means many molecules of ethene are joined, and hence it is said to be polyethene. And similarly, if we join propene, propene is a monomer, and if we join, then we will get polypropene. Okay, in polypropene the monomer is propene, and in polyethene the monomer is ethene, and this kind of reaction is said to be polymerization. And this polymerization has lot of applications in refrigerator bottles, okay, as well as many different kinds of rubbers, okay, and the tables, all those are made up of polymers. Okay, chairs, tables, okay, different kinds of plastic products, all those are nothing but the result of polymerization, and that is observed in case of alkenes. So these are some chemical properties of alkenes. So just go through all the properties once again and remember these properties.